presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day. Tom takes your phone calls toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Let's go to our man George in Newport Richie. George, what's going on, brother?
Hello, Tom. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yourself?
Yeah, great. I've been following you for the last 2 years, listening to your show.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, George.
All the hard work you've done for us over the years.
Well, I really appreciate you calling and saying hi.
My pleasure, Tom.
Okay.
I'll listen to your show.
Thank you, man. Have a great one, a safe one. Appreciate it, man.
Now, Tom O'Brien.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN. We kick things off on Monday afternoon, and markets continuing the march to higher territory. We got a sell on Friday, but just how quickly? We're almost back to right where we were on Friday morning. We are at the close of almost Thursday, and right now you got the S&Ps up by 8 points on the session. We're trading at 64.98 right now. NASDAQ up by 104. That's almost 0.5%, 23,788. The Dow was negative earlier. Little volatility on both directions on a 5-minute basis. You see the sell on the open on the Dow, but we're back to positive by 30 points right now, 45,490, and you have the Russell positive by 4. So we get some inflation data out on Thursday. Okay, we'll get into that in a moment. But you have a Fed meeting from 9 days from right now. Pressure is on fixed income. And check out the 10-year. We had a high of 113.21 on the jobs number on Friday. You backed off a bit, and we're right back there. Higher price, lower yield as we're approaching a 4% level on the 10-year. And the dollar reacting in tandem as, you just broke the lows that we had on Friday. 97.429 on that dollar. And, boy, it's not stopping for gold right now. I mean, look at this run. From 2000 February 2024, and then right out of the gate at the beginning of the year as well, you get a little consolidation. Now you check out this gold contract. Okay, so we're going to put it back to a daily first. Okay, the way that you broke above the highs, and you did it on September 2nd, just last Tuesday. Yeah, the opening day of last week, right? We come back from the long weekend. That was a decisive breakaway on a daily. Look at that volume, okay? And you broke above the highs. You broke above the high we had from August 8th, which was 35.34, because we had closed at 35.16 the day prior to September 3rd. And then you also had this day. What was the high there? 35.0990. Yeah, so we were above that high, but hadn't gotten above that, and boom, you explode above it. You know, you might have a test on some light volume coming back, but even on a weekly basis, you just blow apart the highs. So gold, whew. Silver, rising above the 1-to-1 silver, up another 37 pennies. You make a high of 42.35, and we back off a bit. But yeah, 42.35, that's a recent high for silver. You got to back things up. What? 2011. All right, you take a look at some of the movers today. NVIDIA up by 1.3% right now. You got Robinhood added to the S&P. How about that one? Up by 15%. AppLovin added to the S&P, up 11%. EchoStar selling their sats, their satellites, their bandwidths to Elon and SpaceX, up another 19%. And yeah, Elon's coming, man. I think I have it up here. Forgive me. All right, I'll pull up the article talking about Elon. Because, they're probably going to be the fourth competitor. You know, when the Sprint T-Mobile deal got done, they had to divest, sell some of the bandwidth. They sold it to EchoStar. They were going to be a fourth player in the market. They weren't using the bandwidth. There was pressure. All right. What else do we got going on? So, tomorrow, get ready for the markdown, baby. Yeah. You're going to get the revisions on Tuesday to show the March. Yeah. It was almost 800,000 less than currently estimated. And here have been the prior yearly revisions. 818,000 was the number last time. 306, 2022 you have to go back to, but boy, you talk about a bias to the downside. Once a year, the BLS benchmarks the March payrolls level to a more accurate but less timely data source called the Quarterly Census of Employment and Wages, and this comes out tomorrow. And yeah, they're looking at maybe 800,000, maybe 1 million jobs. You're talking about 65,000 jobs a month going to get taken out of the numbers that we have in there. All right, we talk a little bit of Amazon. So yeah, they're coming after your free shipping. I don't think this is going to be akin to coming after Netflix sharing their passwords, but nonetheless, yeah, it don't matter. And they're curbing sharing free shipping and set to hit millions. People who are invited by friends or family to share, they're going to be cut off at the end of this month. That's it. You're on your own. See how many of those people you can get to sign up. I don't know. So look at, they're going to offer, right? Former invitees, $14.99 a year before the standard monthly fee of $14.99 kicks in. And then let's talk a little bit of oil. So OPEC, they're going to boost the oil output further despite the supply glut concerns. They're not that worried. Production increase comes as OPEC and its allies seek to boost market share. So yeah, they're going to boost it by 137,000 barrels a day in October, beginning to roll back some of the voluntary cuts that they previously put in place. So they pump about half of the world's oil. And yeah, they've been curtailing for years to support those prices. Remember when we were at negative oil at one point? Jump over that crude contract. Let's take a look. $60 has been the floor to a certain degree. That's where we were from March all the way until about June. And boy, you had some nice strength at 55, right? The way you bounced off that floor on a weekly basis. Jeez, look at this selling, right? Look at this selling we got when we're above 75. Selling acceleration in the beginning of August. You get a slight bounce. Crude, struggling to find a bid. S&P's rolling over a bit right now. We're positive by 4. And stay tuned, folks. I see our man Steve Rhodes. He's in there. He's getting ready. We're coming back with Steve. We're going to talk some markets. Don't go away.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, folks. We got markets in the green. S&P's up by 6, NASDAQ up by 89. You got gold at all-time highs right now. Gold up by $21. You've backed off a bit, $36.74. And right now, as we do each and every Monday at 3:15, folks, we're going to jump over to our man Steve Rhodes. You can check out Steve's outstanding program every trading day, folks. Okay, the Trader's Edge, and Mastering Probability is his newsletter. Check it out on the newsletter tab. You can sign up. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, folks. Steve puts out updates in the morning. He puts them out in the afternoon. You get a bunch of great webinars, and it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Steve Rhodes, good afternoon.
Hey, Tommy, how you doing? Good to be with you.
Good to be with you too, man. How was the weekend? We had some football back. How was the weekend, man?
Yeah, well, football, and congrats to the Buccaneers. That was a good game. Yeah, that was a good game. And
there were some good games.
Yeah, there were great football games for sure. But the tennis was just, I've been to the U.S. Open a couple of different times, and it's just a great environment to be there. But this year's games were so great. I don't know if you caught, so yesterday catching the
I watched some.
Finals,
Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead, please.
It's kind of hard going back and forth because, those guys are so good. So fast.
Steve, I took tennis lessons when I was a kid, right? I loved it.
Yeah.
And it's a great sport. And I remember when I was a kid, I'd be in like high school studying, and I think it was like Sampras back then, right? Sure. Amazing. And then I think I fell out of it a little while, but you can't help get brought back in by Alcaraz and Sinner. If I'm saying those two, it's amazing. What are they, like 8 straight majors? It's the two of them. It's pretty cool. It is.
Yeah, no, just so because you had taken lessons, you've played tennis. I've played tennis, never at any kind of level like that. But just once in my life, I said to my wife last night, I said, just once, I'd love to hit a backhand like they do down the line, right?
I knew it was going to be hit. One of those rippers down the line, right? Totally.
And then how about the American woman? Amanda, and I don't remember how to pronounce her last name. She hits the ball harder than almost anybody.
That's awesome, man. It is, and women's tennis is so great, man. It is. It's a great. It is, yeah.
For sure. So, you're talking gold. I thought we'd talk one of the O'Brien favorite things, which is Goldilocks. And this chart that we've got up on our screen, I actually have the yearly chart. So I've got a yearly chart in the continuous mode. We've got the December contract for the monthly, the weekly, and the daily. So last week, gold negated one of my topping signals, topping or bottoming signals. It's called the TD9 count top, and we negated that last week. That just increased the odds of a further rally, and a close above 36.5550 No, that is going to. Oh, yeah. So that was a weekly. So the weekly negated its TD9 count top. Today it closed above 36.55.50, which that's a no-brainer at this stage here. Is going to negate the daily TD9 count top. So and when you negate a TD9 count top is kind of like running a marathon, right? You're using all that energy up. By the time you get to that, 24 miles, 25 miles, whatever that actual final is, you're pretty much dead. And the TD9 counts kind of work the same way. I think of them in the same format. But here, when you form a top and then you take it out that next day, just tells you there's a ton of strength that is left. When we look at the weekly chart, the yearly chart, look at this wide-ranging bar for 2025. This takes us back into the 2000 timeframe. We don't have anything even close to that. Now, what some people may notice is that this year is going to be bar 9 of a TD9 count, which can be a top. But if we look back at gold and we take a look we had this 12-year run up into the 2011-2012 timeframe, and the high came on the bar following bar number 9. So this is a signal that we may see that same pattern. That means we're going to see higher prices even next year. What do you think about that?
I like that, man. Let's do it. And Steve, I don't know if you heard the beginning of the program. Those moves, and I was writing the gold report today, man, there was just a tremendous amount of volume across the board. Gold had been waning a bit, but I was like, man, as hard as it is to say, this is wild. I think we got some legs here.
Let me show you why. Let me show you why. So first, gold's trading in its most favorable seasonal cycle. Over this 57-year chart, and once we get into July, basically gold continues to move higher to sideways. So that's the 57-year cycle. And I'll get back to the reason why gold's had volume and was moving up in just a moment. This is the monthly chart for gold, and it suggests a run for the 34.78.59 level. That is a 1 to 1.618 A to B equals CD pattern, taking us back to the low in 1998 when gold was at 253. Wow. So that becomes a price target. Just above that is a horizontal trading range boundary line at 38.16. So that 38.16-ish area is the very likely price target. That's coming from the monthly chart. This is the weekly chart for gold. And again, the horizontal lines are horizontal trading range. The diagonals are price channels. We can see that on a weekly basis, prices poking its head up above a rising price channel. If it can get above that level, then it should make a run for the 38.21 area. So that 3,800-ish area keeps coming up, whether it's daily or it's weekly. To answer the question, why was gold moving higher with volume? Well, all we have to do is take a look at how gold was trading in all the major currencies. And gold, even today, so let's just take a look at today. Today, gold's made a new all-time high in every single major currency, except for really, and not that the Russian ruble is a major currency out there, but I put that in there. And we're even back to the swing point of its all-time high. So that's number one. Then let's look at number two. Here's gold at new all-time highs today in every Middle Eastern currency, with the exception of the lower left, the Israeli shekel. This is how bull markets really form. Price is rising in everybody's currency, right? So that means it doesn't matter whether you're in Kuwait or you're in your chair, everybody sees that gold is in a bullish breakout mode. And I think that's what's contributing to putting some of the volume that you were seeing when you were doing the gold report.
Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. I mean, look at those charts, right? I mean, this thing, and you're talking about the 1 to 1.618. It's amazing how those things always line up, on so many different Fibonacci levels when we get these types of expansions. And boy, we have some expansions going, of course.
We do. And so when we take a look at this, we take a look at gold, and then we go take a look at how the Dow is trading. So we take a look at the Dow. The Dow's only made new all-time highs in the last few days in terms of U.S. dollars, Chinese yuan, and Canadian loonie. If you look at Great British Pound, the Krona, Australian dollar, or the euro, we're so far away from the all-time highs. That's a caution signal. So real bull markets are what we just look at inside of gold, priced in all the other currencies, all these major currencies and European currency, or the Middle Eastern currencies. If we look at the daily Dow, it does have a Rhodes Momentum Indicator topping pattern. And on the weekly basis, in wave number 7. That's a little tool from Basil's toolbox out there. And if we don't get a higher, if at the end of the week, this coming Friday, if we do not take out last Friday's high, we will have a top there. And I would say that at that stage, that gold should pull back to its oscillator and change line, which right now is printed about 44,949. But if gold closes below the monthly oscillator and change line, similar level, 44,949 out there. In fact, it's the exact same level. If we get below that, that will tell us that the Dow has lost momentum. And if you look down here at the very bottom panel, you'll see that we have been higher for 4 consecutive months. 4 to 5 months is pretty much the extension of a rally out there before we get a 1 to 2 month pullback out here. So we really want to watch this 44,949. The Dow is saying caution. It's absolutely saying caution out there. Here's another reason to be concerned about the Dow. This is its 128-year seasonal cycle. Today is supposed to be a top. Now, that doesn't mean that it will be a top, and we'll watch for the signals. In fact, I don't have the confirming signal from the equal-weighted ETF. I've spoken to you and folks about this before, and if we get a bearish reversal candle here, that will line up with the Dow Diamonds, the Dow Equity Future Contract, and the cash indice out there. So gold, bullish as can be. Those are the types of charts you're looking for. The Dow, not so much. Not right now.
That was great stuff, Steve. And folks, right here, I have the page up, Steve, for your subscribers, the webinars. You know, Steve, you have such great webinars in there. One of them, the TD Setup 9 count. Folks, check out Mastering Probability. Steve, thanks so much, man. We look forward to the program tomorrow at 11. Have a great night.
Take care.
Take care. Folks, we'll be right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Tom O'Brien Show is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. Markets in the Green. Always a great segment with our man Steve Rhodes. And yeah, just finishing up that segment. I was talking about the webinars. I rushed it a bit. But, Steve talks about so many of the great indicators he uses, folks. And this is the page that subscribers gain access to. Okay, this is the many webinars under Mastering Probability. So check out Mastering Probability. You gain access to all of these webinars Steve has done. You can watch them as many times as you'd like. And you get 30 days risk-free money-back guarantee with all of those great updates that Steve puts out in the morning and in the afternoon for Mastering Probability subscribers. So check it out. Okay. So, I'm going to jump around a bit here. And here's the article I was talking about that I wanted to reference when you talk about wireless. And yeah, they're probably going to do more with those bandwidths than EchoStar. And yeah, he's going deeper into the wireless market. It's a half stock, half cash deal. Okay, $17 billion. And hey, I probably like that deal if I'm an EchoStar shareholder. You're getting some action of the future benefit of SpaceX, right? The company also agreed to pay about $2 billion of cash toward interest payments on debt through November 2027. So they're shoring up their debt. They're giving them $17 billion. They do away with their worries in terms of regulations. And yeah, from the FCC, which threatened just in May to strip some of those spectrum rights from that company. AT&T bought the first batch for $23 billion. SpaceX is in the business for $17 billion now. SpaceX already deployed the largest satellite internet constellation in low Earth orbit with Starlink. 8,000 satellites. And Musk said last year, Starlink would strike partnerships with other cell phone carriers around the world to provide links on cell phones. Why not, right? You jump over to Tesla shares, down 1.2%. Not really reacting on that. But nonetheless, take a look at Tesla. That was a big day of action on Friday. Man, look at that volume on Friday. It's the most volume we've had. Tesla shares. We do 108 million shares on that acceleration on Friday. Couldn't quite get above the highs, though. And what happens? Today we get above the highs and we reject it. But that was some nice volume. You're approaching the upper end of the range. And the upper end of the range was basically where we hit this morning. Right? I'm talking about just where we were in May. And yeah, you talk about some of the flyers today. Robinhood, right up against the all-time highs. 116.81. This thing was just trading at $30 in March. AppLovin added to the S&P 500, up by 11.5%. Yeah, Caesars coming out of the S&P 500. And this thing's just in trouble, man. I say it often when you're looking at equities like this. Okay, yeah, you might be able to find a floor, okay? And you're going back into the COVID lows, which are 602, though. So you're not even near the floor in terms of where's the floor when you're getting into an equity like this. You could say you're getting into it and you set the stop somewhere with 20 or so. Well, boy, look at all that selling we just had on their earnings in late July. You got selling at the lows of tariff volatility. They're loaded up with debt, and people are not gambling as much as they used to. At least not at Caesars Properties. Maybe they're doing it all online for sports gambling. It's pretty remarkable. They have sports gambling legal in Florida. I can go down to the Hard Rock, and they have Hard Rock Bet. Haven't done it yet. Probably do it at some point, just for recreation. And still can't play online poker legally in Florida. Still can't play online poker. The only way I can play poker in the state of Florida legally is to go down and play it for a sum of money that is actually pretty large. Because in order for the houses, and I know I'm just, if you know my show, I've played a lot of poker. It's astounding that somehow in the age of gambling, they still haven't gotten poker in there, man. And poker, if raked correctly, okay, is a game you can beat. It's a negative sum game, poker. Negative sum. The rake's getting taken out, right? So you just can't play break-even poker. You can't just be just as good as everybody else to break even in poker. Because if you're just as good as everybody else, you're going to lose the rake. right? So if you're a little bit better than everybody else and you can beat the rake, then you're break even. If you get above there, okay, then you can beat the game. But they can rake poker just like they can rake anything else. And you're seeing it happen in the Las Vegas Strip. I don't know if you know, they got 000 roulette, right? Not just single zero, not double zero. They got 000. I think they got quad zero roulette somewhere on it. They've tweaked blackjack games where now they're paying, I think, 6 to 5 on blackjack versus 3 to 2. The dealer is hitting on soft 17s. All of that, and somehow you can't play an online poker game for $5. And there's stories everywhere of people, losing. You can play a great online poker game for $5, folks. Right? 1,000 people enter. There's a $5,000 prize pool. The winner will walk with $1,000. Meanwhile, I got to go down to the Hard Rock, and I don't say I got to because I've played enough poker that I don't mind that. Right? I would play those stakes anyway. But for people who want to play recreationally, the Hard Rock has a lot of people, and I don't blame them. They don't want to sit down at those tables because really you got to sit down with $100 to $200 to play the game appropriately when the blinds are $1, $2. In the online arena, folks, if you've ever played in live casinos, the cheapest game usually in a live casino of no limit hold'em poker is $1, $2 blinds. And a standard buy-in is about 100 big blinds. So you buy in with $200 and the blinds are $1 is a small blind, $2 is the big blind. Well, for some comparison online, folks, if you're playing 1-2 poker online, you're playing with some of the best sharks out there because that is an extreme amount of money online because the bottom of the fishing pool online starts at blinds that are maybe 5 cents, 10 cents with a $10 buy-in for 100 big blinds. Then you go up to 10 cent, 25 cent blinds. Then you go 25 cent, 50 cent blinds. Then you go 50 cent, $1 blinds, okay, where you're buying it for $100. And then you're playing 1, 2, 2, 5, 5, 10, and upwards. But those are super high limit versus in the casino, they're the cheapest games there. Like that online poker diatribe, we jump around. Hey, hopefully they'll repair that gambling bill because that'll just doom everything. And I think there's enough money in Washington with these companies because it would be a total mess when can you imagine being DraftKings or FanDuel, right, where you're going to have all these players that might have huge sums of phantom earnings just because they're playing a lot of low-level wage bets, right? You're betting $5, $10 a game. You're getting 10, 20 games a week. You might have 200, 300 games throughout the year. Yeah, and you only get to write off 90% of your winnings against your losses. All right, we're coming back and we'll talk some equities, folks. We'll jump around. We'll talk a little Apple as they have their event going on tomorrow with their new products. We'll come right back, folks.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched The Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Tom O'Brien.
Welcome back, folks. We have markets right now hanging on to gains, and you got Apple right now down by 1%. So, yeah, they'll be out with their big event tomorrow. They'll be talking about iPhones. They'll have a number of different items in there. AI is going to be in focus, that's for sure. And, I was reading this opinion piece they had up here. Let's see, was it this morning? Yeah, early this morning. Apple's plan B for AI, actually pretty great. I would agree with it in the short term, for sure. They were struggling. The amount of money these companies are pumping in, and Apple competing with Google, it's not happening right now. So what are they going to do? They're just going to pay Google. Yeah. And, the monetization of all the money being spent, it's the biggest growth project ever if you think about it, right? Artificial intelligence. It's a never-ending quest. And nonetheless, so you got this week's event, the usual affair as they put it, right? You're going to get a new phone. The redesign, the camera they're saying is going to have, it's going to take up about a third of the back of the iPhone. They're going to come out with an iPhone Air. I think it's only going to be 2 millimeters thinner, but when you hold it in your hand, you look at it, how thin they are already anyway, it'll be noticeable. And yeah, they have to work on that virtual assistant, right? Apple seeks to reinvent Siri for the AI age, so they'll have their event tomorrow. But yeah, it's going to be Google and Google Gemini. The two companies are testing and fine-tuning a custom-built version of Google's model that runs on Apple servers and would be used for summarizing. And so they're going to outsource it for right now. And yeah, I think the market's going to like that one, and they have. But guess what? You got to live up to some expectations, man. This thing's on quite a run. You dive down to 175 on the tariff lows, and we get the acceleration on their numbers last go-around, and you're coming up to all-time highs. Right where we were almost in last July. Trading at 237.23 was the high. We're at 237.46. How about that, right? Now we get a Fed that meets 9 days from right now. And when you talk about the Fed, JP Morgan saying, be a little aware that this could be an instance to sell the news. And boy, you talk about a run-up, right? It was amazing on Friday. We got the jobs number. Jobs number was like, whoa, man, 22,000. Okay, everyone's like, hey, rates going dramatically lower, right? And the market was like, bad news is good news, and equities went up. And boy, that reversed itself pretty quickly, okay? Reversed itself pretty quickly. We held until 9:45 in the morning, and then we dropped out of bed. And you could say we've climbed back pretty well. We're right where we were basically coming into the close of last Thursday prior to the jobs number. The cuts are coming, okay? There's at least one of them. They're going to come. I don't imagine they're going to go 50. We're going to get the revisions tomorrow, okay, for the March revisions, which is going to be like 800,000 jobs that they're going to take away. So, yes, the pressure's going to be on even more. I'm sure you'll get some tweets from the president talking about 1 million jobs, the BLS. That's why he had to fire the chief, all this stuff. It happens every year, but it's going to be out there 8 days before the Fed. But what they're talking about here is the trading desk, if the Fed follows through with the interest rate cut, that could turn into a sell the news event as investors pull back. It's not that simple, but be aware of it. And I pointed out especially, folks, because Friday had some action, man. Okay, we take a look at the markets on a daily. Look at the volume on Friday, right? Matching the volume we saw at the lows of Tuesday. This chart looks like quality volume on the downside, folks. Okay, where's the volume on this chart? At every trough in the market. Right? The red lining up, every trough. Massive volume on the selling, lighter volume on the way up. NASDAQ 100, same deal. Volume at the lows. Volume on Friday. We're extending on lighter volume today. We got volume out here on the August 20th lows and volume on the test of August 1st as well. That's a quality volume chart on the way down. Now we know it doesn't mean the market can't drift higher on thin volume. But when I read that article from JP Morgan, okay, and this is where, man, experience is everything. You can't teach experience, right? If you could teach it, people would. It reminds me, and I try and keep this one in mind, folks, of when the Fed began their hiking, okay? It was March 2022, a simpler time when I was 42 years old. No. And I have to kid, but the market traded from 4,800 at the beginning of that year. I'm going to bring you down memory lane here, folks, okay? We were on the heels of a rapid acceleration coming out of COVID. Okay, you got to back it up further than that. There's your COVID pullback. Straight line move from 2,200 to 4,800. Did you just hear what I said? A straight line move from 2,200 to 4,800. Prior to COVID, 3,400. To 4,800. That's why I often talk about this pullback in 2022. There was no real stress because you never even got below where you came into COVID. And we were just used to giving up all those gains to 2,200. We experienced the stress of 2,174. Were you really that freaked out when the market traded to a low of 3,500 when you were at 2,100 2 years prior? But to get back into it, it's a straight line move. Okay, prices, Fed's late to the party. They probably should have cut already. They did not. Hike. This is 2022. Prices are raging. They don't hike. They're late to the party. They start hiking. When do they start hiking? In March of 2022. The market had just traded from 4,800 down to 4,135. Okay? And you got one reprieve here, folks, before the market really reacted to what was going on, okay, in terms of the massive hiking campaign that was coming down the line. And then you traded from 4,600 down to 3,600. You lost 1,000 points in the S&P in about 3 months, okay? So be aware of the turning points that can take place on Fed Day, and be aware of the head fakes that could happen as that turning takes place, because you look at, a sell the news situation, okay? This is just talking about that the market's on fire right now, right? The S&P is up dramatically, okay? You have the market's at all-time highs. You have multiples doing well. And meanwhile, we have a Fed that's getting called to cut like the world is ending, and they're, just absolutely suffocating this economy. We'll see what the revisions are going to be tomorrow. They're probably going to cut by 25 basis points. But, we have a leveling off here of this area. And the reason why I bring it up is because the market just traded from 4,800 to 6,500. Eventually there are pullbacks, folks. Okay? And you go back to where we were on that COVID run. You're talking about almost doubling in price over 2 years, right? But guess what? You take a look at these moves on a longer term basis. How's that to your 1-to-1? Right? Even a little bit dicier. Just getting over the 1-to-1 right now. Coming into a Fed that needs to cut because we're adding 22,000 jobs a month. And we're going to get some revisions tomorrow. And then we get inflation data on Thursday as well. Gold, poof, as Steve was talking about, we got some momentum. One more segment, folks. Come right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We got the NASDAQ 100 up 108 points right now, 23,792. We jump around to some of the Magnificent Seven. NVIDIA up by 1.1%. Look at that acceleration on the open. Jump over to the chip stocks. AMD up by 0.3% right now. Intel shares up by just 0.1% right now. Some of the other players, Oracle up 2.6%. Take a look at this Oracle, man. This thing's been a rocket ship. Almost going 1 to 1.618 expansion. You're talking about a run from 118 to 260. Boy, look at the volume, though, as you take a look at this. Yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes it's just not that complicated, right? As in, you accelerate above this 200 area, you break above it on those June numbers that you got for Oracle. A nice sign of strength on June 30th. But since then, it's been lower numbers. And the high there is 237.99. We're right at the top of that bar right now. And you just keep getting drops off. You know, last week, though, 4 days, that was a nice bid. Got to remember, we did 4 trading days last week. Dell shares roller coaster, down by 1.4% right now. Paramount Skydance. Can't really look at the longer term of that one. Up by 1.1% right now. Jump around to some of the other streamers. Warner Brothers up by 2% right now. Netflix up by 0.1%. Comcast up by 0.3%. You know what I'll tell you folks about Comcast? I watch Peacock sometimes. I was watching it this weekend because they had football. Eventually it's going to come out because Comcast charges so little for their streaming service and they rely on ads. I'll stop watching it at night. I'll pull up my computer the next day or something like that and it's still running. No other service does that. They're running it forever to try and tell you that they're running ads for like 14 hours of straight streaming. They're the only one that does it, Comcast. Folks, thanks so much for spending your trading day right here at TFNN. I'll see you tomorrow morning for the morning market kickoff at 9 o'clock. Have a great night, everybody.